Is there anyone new today? Oh, welcome. During the meditation, if you feel sleep, that's okay. We too. Sometimes feel sleep. Okay, please sit comfortably. Feel at ease. Let go of the past and the future. Gently close your eyes. Take a long, deep breath. And relax your whole body. If you are having a difficulty feeling the relaxation, just think about the word relax. Try to observe every part of your body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. Try to relax your body as much as possible. Now your body is relaxed, your mind is calm. We can slowly begin our loving kindness meditation. It's so important to develop love and compassion towards ourselves first. Think to yourself, may I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful. Now you have built love and compassion towards yourself. It's time to send our love and compassion towards others. Think about somebody that you love the most in your life. It could be your husband, wife, your children, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, It could be your grandchild. Think about the feelings that you have when you think about your most loved one. And try to develop that sort of love and compassion towards others. Thinking thus, may all my family members, relatives be happy, be peaceful, may all my family members, relatives be well, be happy, be peaceful. Now send your loving and kind thoughts towards all living beings all around the world. All the human beings who are suffering, that need love and compassion, all living beings, all living things, may all be well, happy and peaceful. May all living beings be well, be happy, be peaceful. May all living beings be well, be happy, be peaceful. Now you have built love and compassion towards yourself, towards others. Even sometimes we have a difficulty sending love and compassion towards some people in our lives. Maybe we don't like the way they talk to us, or we don't like the way they behave. But we all humans are different. If you have somebody you're having a hard time sending your love and compassion, think, if the other person does that, you don't want to do that the same back. You can send your love and compassion towards them. That way your heart, your mind will fill with love and compassion, not anger, not hatred. Send your love and compassion towards everybody you like or you dislike. May all living beings be well, be happy, be peaceful. Now your mind is calm, filled with love and compassion. Now slowly we can start our mindfulness meditation. Do not force your breath. Let it happen as usual. And try to pay attention to your breath. When you breathe in, understand that you are breathing in. When you breathe out, understand that you are breathing out. Try to keep your concentration on your breathing and breathe out. If you want to change your posture, change it mindfully. Try to get comfortable. You can get distracted by your thoughts or a feeling or a sensation. That's also a part of the practice. Each and every time, if you get distracted by your thoughts or a feeling or a sensation, each and every time, please bring your attention back to paying attention to your breathing. Breathe in, breathe out. Are you in the present moment? If your mind wanders around, try to bring your attention back to your breathing. Again and again, each and every time if you get distracted, please bring your attention back to your breathing. May all you be well, happy and peaceful. Thank you. Open your eyes. Okay, let's do the chanting. It's on page 4. Can you pass me one of these books? It's on page 4. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Dutiyampi saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi buddhaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi dhammaṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Tatiyampi saṅghāṃ saraṇaṃ gacchāmi. Anicca vata saṅkhārā uppada vaya dhammino. Uppajjitva nirujjanti. Tesaṃ upasamo sukho. Sabbhe sattā avera hontu. Sabbhe sattā abhyapajja hontu. Sabbhe sattā anigā hontu. Sabbhe sattā sukhi atthānaṃ pariharantu. Mano pubbangama dhamma. Mano settha manomaya. Manasa ce pasannena. Basati va karoti va. Tato nang dukkhaman veti. Cakkang vahato padang. Mano pubbangama dhamma. mano settha manomaya manasace pasannena bhasati va karoti va tathonang sukhamanveti chayava anapayini. Mind is the forerunner of all states. Mind is cheap. Mind made are they. One should either speak or act. Suffering follows caused by that, as that the wheel follows the ox hoof. Mind is the forerunner of all states. Mind is cheap. Mind made are there. If it one should either speak or act. Happiness follows caused by that, as one's shadows never leaves. We believe the skillful noble path is marked for generosity. We believe generosity has many levels. Think generously, speak generously, act generously. We believe generosity is the heart of our spiritual practice, and this practice allows us to become more open, accepting, and forgiving. We believe extending generosity to ourselves and this direct way of healing division, bringing joy and mean this. So, okay. How is everybody? Did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? Good. Did anybody eat without being mindful? Most of us, right? Yeah. Well, today's talk, there are 5 things that Buddha once mentioned that, especially for this sutta called Thana Sutra, he mentioned 5 things that monastics frequently contemplate on and reflected on. It's not only just for the monastics, it's good for everybody. So I wanted to share that with you. So the 5 things that we should always frequently reflected on. The first one is, I am subject to get old. The second one is, I am subject to get ill. The third one is, I am subject to passing away. I am subject to death. The fourth one is, I am subject to lose my loved ones at some point of my life. The fifth one is karma, our action and reaction. But I want to pay more into the first 4 things that talks about, because Buddha mentioned, why do we have to reflect on these things frequently? There is a reason for that. Sometimes in Western, when we talk about suffering, death, illness, and getting old, it's kind of pessimistic, right? So that's how we brought up to being positive, always try to see the positive side of things. But sometimes the reality, instead of accepting the reality, we see the reality as a pessimistic thing because we are having a hard time cope with it. So when you have a hard time cope with the reality, you pretend to think, oh, this is pessimistic, so I don't want to think about it. So that's why when the Buddhist teaching is start, first talk about suffering. And if somebody comes to the practice and teaching, if at the beginning you're talking about suffering, so you don't want to be there. So they all talk about when it comes to Buddhist practice. If you ask somebody, have you been to a meditation or practice? Oh yeah, they all talk about suffering. So I didn't want to be there. But you didn't wait for the next part, because then it shows you why are you suffering, how to get rid of suffering, and then later on they teach you all that. But sometimes we go to a places want to find the answer real quick, and then we don't want to hear the other parts, right? It's nonsense. I don't want to hear about suffering. So, because Buddha mentioned this, that we have to frequently reflect on this, because in this sutra, after the first part of these 5 things, they said the reason why the Pali word called madha means intoxication. So when you intoxicate with, so the first one is getting old, right? So when you intoxicate with young age, when you're not thinking about that I'm getting old, when you're not thinking about I'm getting old, so you get intoxicated with your young age, and then you make mistakes when you don't think about it. That's why Buddha mentioned that we have to reflect on all the time that I am subject to get old. So I'm not going to stay this young all the time. When you get older, when you have, I see a lot of young folks and a lot of older folks too. And then once you pass 40s, I already passed 40, so I feel that too a little bit. So your physical body is not like when you're 25, right? But if your mind is not ready, if your mind is intoxicated with young age, that you're thinking that you are young forever, it will be hard for you to accept that your body is not working the way you want. It is getting old. It's like a machine. So we use it, and it's going to worn out. And then we have to put new parts, or either we have to better take care of so we can keep it for a longer time. The second one is, when we have a good health, we get intoxicated with good health, and we forget that we can get sick. I experienced that because I mentioned in last time I have a shoulder pain that I needed a surgery. I didn't realize when 40s, past 4 days that I can't be working out and do things and running 7-8 miles a day. I can't do that anymore. So I have to cut down, probably not 8 miles, just 4 miles. But I'm intoxicated with having good health, thinking I can still do it. So then we run, going out of the reality. The third one is, when we have we intoxicated with living the life. When we live, we get intoxicated of having this life. We humans, we people pretend to believe that we are going to live forever. But if you frequently reflect on that I am subject to be passing away, the death can arise to us at any moment, that we will not act that way, that we are going to live forever, that we don't care about others. When I went to Sri Lanka, I went on Poson Poe, which is a full moon day of Poson, which is the very important day for Buddhist people, the day that Buddha was born, enlightened, and passing away happened in that particular full moon day. It's big celebration in Sri Lanka. So I was in Sri Lanka. So I went to 5 or 6 different temples for Dhamma talks in different times. So my question to everyone at those temples, I asked them, if something happened, that we all going to pass away in these coming minutes, are you all ready? So all the 5-6 places I've been to, thousands of people all together, not a one individual raised their hand, said that I'm ready. So because we think that we are not ready, but think to yourself, if the death comes to you, do you have option saying like, hey, I have a lunch today, can I do after lunch? No, I don't think we have that option, right? So I have my granddaughter, I want to wait till she get married. I have to walk her on the aisle, can I do it after? I don't think so. So when the death arrives, we have to accept it, no matter what. So, isn't it better to prepare ourselves? Not just prepare ourselves when it arrives, we don't struggle with the death. So that's why it's important to reflect on a death, about the death. So the fourth one is, I am subject to lose my loved ones at some point of my life. But when we are intoxicated with having all our loved ones, your pets and your loved ones, everybody when you have around, we intoxicated with, and we don't think about what's going to happen after. So I have a better experience myself. My mother passed away exactly 7 years ago, a week and 7 years ago. I got a phone call at midnight. My sister-in-law called me, and she's told me that my mother passed away. She wasn't too old. I was not expecting that, even though I've been a monastic, but I should have been thinking about this beforehand. But it was a struggle for me. So far my life, that was the biggest struggle that I have in my life. It took me 4 or 5 years to recover, and it's still to this day, there is a place that I haven't recovered. But my father passed away 3 years later. But when my father passed away, I was well prepared. to handle the emotionally, because of I learned my lesson after my mother passed away, that when this happened to someone else that I love, how am I going to handle this? Because I do not want to go through the same pain that I went through. And the only way that I didn't go through the same pain that I went through with my mother was I was reflecting on that this is going to happen to someone else that I love too. So it was it's still a struggle, but it was a less struggle for me when it happened in the second time. So I remember talking to Bhante Sujata, because his father passed away recently, and he saw the struggle that I went through after my mother passed away. That was an eye-opener for him, because I remember when we talk, he talked about that this is a good experience for me also, because I wanted to prepare myself, because his parents were old. And he was well prepared when his father passed away. That was because he always told me that when my mother passed away, the struggle that I went through, he saw that, and he took that, and then he reflected on death, and at some point that I'm going to lose the loved ones that I have, that he was well prepared for that. So, because of these reasons, that's why the Buddha mentioned that we all need to reflect on these things, that when this happens, that we won't get carried away. We will not have much difficulties to handle it. That's what the difference between a practitioner and the person who doesn't practice. Even practicing for a longer period of time, in a quick moment when something happens, and then you realize, wow, so I should have practiced more. That's what I experienced with myself, because I've been to so many funerals in my life. When we in Sri Lanka, all the monks know, when somebody passed away, the monks go there. So I can see I think the humanity, the most difficult thing for us to handle is losing our loved ones. When it comes to us, we can handle everything. When it comes to somebody we love, we care. I know some of the people that they struggle so much when they have their pets pass away. They get so attached to. It takes a long time for them to recover. But once you reflect on these things, because as I mentioned at the beginning, this is the reality. We cannot run away from it. And the recent times, because of the COVID and all these things, no matter how much money you have, no matter which place you are in the society, no matter the position you are, once we get sick, it's time to pass away. It's time to go. We have to. We don't have other options. So that's why it's not pessimistic thinking about these things, thinking about illness and death and getting old. It's not also so pessimistic. It's preparing ourselves not to shock when that happens. Right? It's just like for the kids. Of course, you're going to have to prepare to your best to pass the exam. But in case if you lose it, if you fail, so you have to be ready to handle that too. So that's what these teachings. So the first thing is, I am subject to get old. Second thing is, I am subject to get ill. And I am subject to death. And the fourth one is, I am subject to lose my loved ones at any moment in my life. So if you can reflect those things in your life, when these things happen to you, so you will be in a better place to handle that. That's what the practitioner. It's like there is a saying, the unwise person, he believe in medicine and he will do anything thinking like he believe in doctors and medicine. He will do anything thinking, oh, I can recover, I got a good doctor, I got some good medicine. But the wise one, what the wise one does, he take care of himself, he protect himself from getting sick. And the unwise person is doing everything thinking like I can do after I get sick, but the wise one do before it. So we have to be wiser when things happen in our life, so we will be well prepared. So try to think about these 4 things frequently as much as possible.